All right, here we are at our approximately 1,520 square foot floating cabin for sale. It's a two-story floating cabin, and we're here on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake Tennessee. This spot is transferable. This cabin can stay right here where it's currently located, and this is actually currently in a rental management program. So you can leave it here. You can leave it in that rental management program. Go in and block off the dates you want to use it. You can leave it here and pull it out of the rental management program. Um, so included with the permit of this one is actually going to be including this dock that I'm standing on right now, and then of course the cabin itself is right here on its own monolithic frame, and that's what this is right here. We've got newer aluminum decking on the cabin itself. The monolithic float or monolithic frame for this one is roughly about 36 feet by 50 feet. And the cabin itself, like I said, is roughly about 1,520 square feet of enclosed living space. And of course, we've got these other attached docks that, like I said, that are also included. Now, one thing very unique about this one is actually constructed on a metal frame. That's actually a powder-coated steel frame that is basically in between the flotation and the decking. So we've got um, aluminum pontoons, essentially, if you will. Is going to be the bottom layer, and then you've got that big giant steel frame, and then that aluminum decking on top of that. Now, there's also some supplemental floats on this one in between those pontoons. We've got a couple of those basically large aluminum pontoon floats, and then in between that, we've got some additional supplemental float. When you drive around the exterior down near the water line, you can kind of see those areas where those supplemental floats are. We are heated and cooled with central heating and air. I believe that is about a 2.5 ton unit. Got a patio storage locker back here on the deck. And we've got a nice covered and enclosed screen porch. So as usual, we are here for our video walkthrough tour. So you picked a good one to join us at today. Again, this is essentially a dead-end cove back here. We're kind of moored on the back side of the marina here. We're very convenient to I-75 and very close to into town. We are, I believe we are technically in Jacksboro right now where this marina is located, which if you're familiar with Norris Lake, you might know La Follette, you might know Andersonville, Tazewell, depending on which part of the lake you're at. Well, Jacksboro is a small town before you get into La Follette, so it's a little bit closer to the interstate than some of our other marinas that are on the north end of Norris Lake. Like I said, we're fairly convenient I-75. Now, one thing that this attached dock is doing, other than keeping our pontoon that we use to get out here secured, we've got your waste holding tank is actually beneath the floor right here. This is approximately about a 300-gallon waste holding tank. Now, the way this cabin was built in 2010. We've got HardiePlank exterior siding. Like I said, we do have the all-encapsulated flotation and that powder-coated steel frame. That's actually going to be your waste coming out of the cabin itself, and it's making its way down to that waste holding tank. When this cabin was constructed, all of your gray and black water are all going to the same tank. So that 300 gallons is for your wastewater and your gray water. So as far as meeting the gray water regulations, that's going to make your life a little bit easier. Now, you're also going to need to probably be thinking about adding some additional waste tank if you keep it in this rental program. And of course, you've got the ability to do so because that tank's just simply mounted underneath this deck here. You could simply keep connecting those 300-gallon tanks in a series until you had plenty. So small little stainless gas grill back here on this patio, and then we're going to step on inside. We've got a keyed entry right here. Stepping on in to our main living area. As you'll notice, we've got hardwood floors, we've got tile flooring, and we've got crown molding. These are 9-foot ceilings here on this lower level. And then before we head into the rest of the house, we're going to start right here in this utility closet where we've got a pair of Whirlpool front-loading washer and dryers. And we've also got our water maker system right here. So the water maker here, we've got essentially a well pump that's pulling water up. It's going through 2 filters, and then it's going into this UV light where it is sanitized. So let's throw some more, a little bit more lighting in there for you. Now, this other plumbing that you're seeing right here, this is actually for a sprinkler system that this cabin was constructed with when it was new. Got a small little linen closet or coat closet right here. And this is going to be our first of 2 full bathrooms right here. So we got a nice large vanity with a mirror, and then we've got a full shower and tub. And just around the corner here is the first of 2 residential toilets. So now, since we are on a floating cabin, we can call it ahead if you like. But that is the residential type. There's no macerator in there, and that is achieving about 1.6 gallons per flush. In this little utility closet, we have our tankless gas water heater. This is actually, I'm not even going to try to say that. You can read it right there. I'm not going to try to say that. It's R75LS is the model number. I'll tell you that much. And this is a rated at 234 gallons per hour. And I was thinking there was a gas rating on here. What is that? A 10.3K BTU, about 180,000 BTU capacity. So, all right, let's head on out to the main hallway or entryway, and then we've got our first of 3 bedrooms just right here off this main living room area. Again, we've got some nice large 9-foot ceilings in here. This is a queen size bed. Obviously, you've got room for a lot more. This cabin is very well insulated. We've got insulated floors, ceiling, exterior walls, and I believe we've got about R30 in areas that we could access in the roofing. We got metal roof, insulated, dual pane insulated windows and doors, and this is one of 3 24-inch LED Roku HD televisions. And then here in this particular room, we've got a nice large walk-in closet. And then we'll go ahead and point this out to you. Obviously, there has been a hole cut in this drywall here, and I am almost certain that was done when they converted this, the fireplace, which we'll get to here in a few moments. I believe that fireplace was converted to from natural gas to propane. Now, we do have a small locked closet right here that is being used as the owner's closet. And then here is our kitchen area. Granite countertops throughout. We've got newer appliances in here. That's a newer side-by-side stainless steel refrigerator freezer with ice maker. And then over here across from that, we've got a smooth top 4-burner electric GE oven and range. Over the range LG microwave, double stainless sink, and a Bosch EcoSense stainless dishwasher, Mr. Coffee Maker, Mr. Coffee Maker, and a Keurig right there. So again, granite countertops, wood floors, custom cabinets. We've got sheetrock interior walls here. Just gorgeous views out here. So again, it's kind of looking out into that little, I guess that kind of little dead end cove back here. So of course you've got enough room out there for a small little ski run. Great little place for the kids to be swimming and playing. Here's our living room over here. That's going to be about a 55-inch Sony HD television over there. I believe we got a Blu-ray player over there as well. And then, like I said, that fireplace, when these were first built, they plumbed them for natural gas. And like I said, that access panel that was made in that walk-in closet, I'm almost certain that was done when that would have been converted to propane as opposed to natural gas. Nice matching leather recliner, love seat and sofa. Ceiling fans overhead. And let's go ahead. We're going to go upstairs first, and then we'll finish as we come out. We'll go out the exterior and check out that screen porch. So we're going to head on up our staircase here. Got 2 more bedrooms and your second full bath right up here. So now, as we reach the second level, we've got 10-foot ceilings up here. Don't have the crown molding anymore, but again, an extra foot of ceiling room up there. Ceiling fan overhead, and again, this is another queen size bed. Obviously, you've got room to go much larger in any of these rooms if you so desired. And again, this is another 24-inch Roku HD television. My little dresser drawers. Try to give you that full 360-degree tour in here if we're able to. And now we're going to check out this giant bathroom. Nice large vanity. We've got a walk-in shower and a bathtub. And again, another residential toilet. Now, you are probably used to seeing signs like this in any of our other video tours, especially in house, but especially in town, there's a macerator head. Now, they are still telling you not to flush your tissues in here because they're using standard tissues in here. Now, again, you are going out through the residential toilet, but when all that tissue paper makes it in that waste holding tank, it can kind of accumulate in the waste tank. So if you are going to use toilet tissue in this particular cabin, you will want to use the RV and marine type because those will kind of break down and biodegrade in those waste holding tanks, and will essentially keep you from having issues with your tank capacities. So that's likely why they've done that. Now, you saw me entering that door, and I'm going to exit out over here. This exits out right here at the top of our staircase right here. Yeah, so that's where we went in initially. And then we're going to turn the other way and show you our third and final bedroom. Another 24-inch Roku television right there. Nice large hanging closet, ceiling fan overhead. And we got essentially 2 beds in this one. So we got your queen bed. So your third queen size bed right over here. Excuse me. And then we've got a small little, this is about a, I think I would call this probably a double. It's not quite a full. And so I would call this a little double convertible sleeper. These are great. We've had another listing that had something very similar to this right here. Couldn't find that little handle right there. Grab that little handle. This lifts up and got an ottoman right now. Get this little pull up, and then that lays down, and now you've got some additional sleeping space. I know we don't have a whole lot of lighting up here in these upper bedrooms. We're kind of doing what we can. We've got our additional light, and then just lifts back up, and simply pull this handle and goes right back down, and slide that right back in. Move that handle out this time. So there we go. Small little storage drawers right, or dresser drawers right there, and then of course I think I did mention another hanging closet right there. So do visit our website for more information. And and actually, before we leave the upstairs, so now once we do kind of our walk around tour, then we like to show you all the wear and tear that we've noticed. Well, right here in this upstairs bathroom, we have noticed some stains on our ceiling up here, and Now that is to be determined if those are active leaks or old stains. I'm assuming they're old stains, but that's something that we will look into. And feel free to reach out to us with more information. A few little marks over there on that, the pane in that wall right there, but everything else looks good. Now our interior air handler is actually going to be through this closet into a little access room that is actually over top of our screen and porch, right through there. So that's where the interior air handler is. Just want to call your attention to that. And yeah, let's head on out. Take a look at that exterior one more time. So we did kind of point out that those stains in that upstairs bathroom, and that's definitely something to have checked out. Of course, this cabin, like all of our listings, is offered subject to buyer inspection. Um, Anybody that has an interest in this, we will make it available to you to have it thoroughly inspected by inspector of your choice, whether it's a home inspector. We do have access to an inspector we've used in the past that I think does a great job, that will inspect everything from the floor up. We've also got a marine surveyor that will do a full marine survey for the floating cabins. So if you are financing, you're probably going to need a marine survey. And of course, you may need it for insurance as well. Of course, we've got insurance options as well. So feel free to reach out to us with questions about any of that. If you're curious about financing, reach out to us. We put you in touch with our local lenders. Or if you're wanting to get an insurance quote, again, reach out to us. So beautiful tongue and groove ceiling out here on this covered porch. Ceiling fan overhead. Now we'll tell you that ceiling fan does need to be replaced, but it does work. Just doesn't sound great when it does work. And then we've got one very large, and then one, I guess, average size little um, privacy screens, little canvas screens. Those will lower down, and they're going to help with this afternoon sun that you're going to be getting out here in this screened-in room right here. So great views out here. I love the screened porch. Now I will tell you. Oh, and then also while we're out here, there's also a television hookup right out here in this screen porch area as well. So now what I was going to tell you is out here over the water, you will be surprised. You're not actually going to get a lot of mosquitoes out here. They stick to shore. Now, as soon as you get close to shore, they'll start eating you up, in summer months. Out here over the water, you actually don't get them. Now, if your lights are on at night, then yes, you're going to have other gnats and other bugs that are going to be attracted to those lights in the evenings. Okay, so which is going to make that little screen porch, wonderful. You want to kind of sit out here and enjoy the water. Maybe let your kids swim after dinner. Great little setup out here. And so that's really going to be about it. Now we did notice a few screws kind of backing out on the roof over here. So that's definitely something that needs to be checked out. It might be due for some of those to be replaced. If that, especially if that little leak in that, or that little water damage in that upstairs bathroom, if that is ongoing, that could just need some new screws replaced in that metal roof. We do have a little bit of wear around this HardiePlank siding. And then also want to point out, so we've got the proper little gutter attachment right there. We don't have it over here for this one. And let's see, probably about it. A little bit of, you can kind of see you've got some sun fading on this HardiePlank siding. That's going to be your shore power coming in. That is underwater mining cable that's coming out. There's your propane tanks. And then, now I will say that this other attached float, this one, looks a little bit bad in spots. That is like a Generation 1 composite decking on that. That also, too, was constructed around the same time as the house, about 2010. And this over here is probably left over from what used to be a swim boarding ladder. We do have a cleat right there. You got a few cleats here and there. You could use a little bit. You could use a new board over here on the exterior. That's just covering up this galvanized steel frame, which is great. This galvanized steel frame is what you want to see. Again, that's another one of those, that's the newer style, plastic encapsulated flotation. So from a float standpoint, you're good. Actually, the 26A permit has been applied for on this one and will probably be issued by the time this is sold. So you're already going to have your 26A permit. It is currently a registered floating cabin in the TVA floating cabin system. But that 26A is basically your permit that is the end goal. Okay, registration's the first step, and then you're going to get your 26A. Again, you've got the of the three big regulations needed on this one. Your flotation regulation is already met. Your gray water regulation is already met on this one. Now, again, if you do stay in that rental management program, you might need to add to that storage capacity on your waste tank, but you're already collecting your gray water. And the only other big item left that is required of the floating cabins is for your electrical to be inspected, and that is in the process. So by the time this one is sold, you're going to have all of those items are going to be done, and you're going to have 26A permit in hand. So, and again, I can't emphasize this enough. This is constructed on that powder coated steel frame, whether it's a galvanized steel frame, which we have on the kind of that side deck, or the steel truss frame that's under this cabin. Those are going to be more lifetime floats, or lifetime framing, even, if you will. So here we are re-entering the house through our other sliding door over here off this living room area. Give you one more view out there, and then we're going to start to wrap up here. Two things to be coming up over top of your screen as we do start to wrap up. One is going to be a shortcut to our current listings playlist. If you want to see what else we have available that is an active listing, look for that current listings playlist. The other thing coming up over top of your screen is going to be a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, that is a great way to get notified anytime a new inventory post or new video post. That means a new listing is coming available. So that will probably get have Google or YouTube notify you a little bit quicker than our email list. So happy to have our subscribers, and we're happy to give them a little bit of a heads up for subscribing to our video tours. So I thank you very much for joining us on this one. Again, this will conclude our two-story, 1,520 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2 full bath floating cabin for sale. Again, here on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. This one, like I said, is in a rental management program. Mooring spot is transferable. Rental management program, completely transferable. I believe they told me when I came out to this one rents for roughly just under $500 a night during season. Now that may vary different times of the year. But all right, so again, that's going to do it. Again, those two things coming up over top of your screen. And again, for your convenience, down in the video description, there will be a direct link to this listing over our website. That's where you're going to find the current asking price and all of our contact information. You'll be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email, whatever's most convenient for you. But we do like to remind you, if you send us an email, if it's been one business day, you have not got an email reply yet, check your spam folder. It's likely in there. Now, you probably notice that window area unit in that window and the other one up front for those upstairs bedrooms. There is central heat and air up there. Those were added. You know, I'm not sure why or if they're needed, but you do have 2.5 ton central heat and air, and with those window air units running up there, you can probably hang meat up there if you wanted to. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Again, I thank you for joining us. Link down in the video description. Otherwise, two things coming up over top of your screen, and thank you again for joining us for this one.